types of jobs were hospitals, long-term care, prostate and breast cancer. She has a spouse named Dan and a child named Amanda. She has 3 rambunctious cats. She likes backpacking, gardening, trying new things, paddleboarding, and Mammoth. She lives in La Crescenta for 4 years. Her burning desire is to help as many people as possible transform their health. Something no one knows about her, she learned to fly is that a sailplane? Sailplane before she learned to drive. Our key to success is having a clear mental picture of my goals before starting. Take it away, Heidi.
Thank you. Do I have a timer just so
Yeah,
I can
right
keep
here.
an eye on the
Right here.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Is that good?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay.
Okay, so today I'm going to tell you all about nutrition response testing and clinically designed nutrition. Okay, so for those of you who have been to me, the thing that I'm passing around is what you get when you come for your first appointment. It gives you a little bit more information about what I do so that you can talk about it to other people. And feel free to give it back if you don't want it. If you already have it at home, I'll reuse it. But if you do think it's valuable to be able to explain what I do, then hold on to it. So I use a system called nutrition response testing. And this allows me to assess how well your body's doing and to determine any nutrition deficiencies you have. So, Ted, if I could get you to come up here and be my Vanna White, please. So first you have to understand that Ted's body has a certain amount of energy and strength. And if I take his arm and I push on it, he's going to have a certain amount of strength, right? Okay. So just like, imagine if you were walking on a frozen lake and you fell in. You're all familiar with the concept of hypothermia. Right away your body would start to freeze, it would start to pull all its energy into the core, and that's why you lose your digits, your fingers and toes and your nose. Because this whole area here has to survive in order for you to survive. So the same concept is at play when I'm doing nutrition response testing. We are taking a look at his organs. So I'm pushing on his arm and I've got a nice strong response, okay? So that's called a muscle lock or a strong response. Well, say like Ted had heart disease and I pushed on his heart point, his arm would go completely down. No, completely down. You're my
sorry,
demonstrator.
okay.
Yeah. We're pretending to see that.
I don't want to let that suggestion go.
No, that's good. No, this is a pretend.
Got it.
Yeah, so then he would not be able to hold his strength, okay? So the reason for that is because his body is trying to prioritize and give all the strength to the middle organ. So if this organ is under stress, when I press on this, he won't be able to hold his lock, okay? And so what I do is I take that information and I check all of his organ points, and the ones that are nice and strong. So for example, brain, yay, nice and strong. That means he can think today while he's at work, right? He can help all of his clients really well with his nice, good, strong thoughts. Will be nice and strong. But any area in his body, any organ point that's under stress, he will not be able to hold his strength and his lock. That's because his body will be focusing on the area that's under stress a little bit more than the stress on this arm. So then what I do is I take that information and I prioritize to what's important in his body. His body will always prioritize to what organ needs the most help. And then I find out what are the nutrition deficiencies. So you can sit down, thank you. So,
That's funny because the hypnotist went up to the essential.
everything in life has about 2 feet worth of energy. And the same is true for this little supplement sample. So in here is a supplement sample called cardiotrophin. Okay, so it's used for the heart. It's used to provide important nutrition to regenerate and nourish the heart. So just like the sun, 93 million miles away, gives off its energy that we can see in the sunlight and we can see as it streams through our window, this will also give off some energy that we can't really see, but we can feel. So if I put it within 2 feet of Ted's body, and I checked his body with this supplement, and his heart point went really strong, and that means that his body likes this nutrition. If I put it against his body and his heart point doesn't go strong, that means there's something else his body needs. So I use that along with my clinical background and expertise and my training to determine what his body needs. And I use that to come up with my clinically designed nutrition program. So just like if we were all in a wedding and all the men were the groomsmen and all the women were the bridesmaids, we would have to go and get our outfits, right? The men would have to go get their tuxes, but the inseams would be different, the shoulders would be different, everything would be different, right? But it would be the same, basically the same tux. Same with the women. Our dress would be the same, but it would be different based on our measurements. The same is true when I design a program for you. I design it specifically for your body to balance out whatever's going on and to replenish those nutrition deficiencies. And I do that by designing a whole food supplement program that helps replenish those nutrients you're not getting in what you're eating. A lot of the supplements have foods in them in really strong concentrations that we don't get in our food supply right now. And I also give you feedback on what you can eat that will help balance out your body, because a lot of us are eating foods that are creating inflammation in our body, and we need to know what those are so that we can decrease that inflammation and start healing. And then from there, we work together in balancing out your body, bringing up the nutrition, bringing up your vitality, and working for your goals. And so I've designed a program that's specifically for what you want to achieve in life. Maybe that's more vitality, maybe that's weight loss, maybe that's more energy, and maybe that's clearing up that foggy brain that's been going on. So a good referral for me is that friend or family member who's been having, these challenges, and they're not, maybe they can't put a name to what it is, or maybe they do describe it as foggy head, and they would like to feel better. That friend or family member who goes to the doctor and the doctor says, take these 3 medications and live with it forever, but they don't want to. I get a lot of people who come to me and say, I don't want to take these medications anymore. Can you help me get off them? And of course, I can't take them off of them, but I can help them improve their life through improving their nutrition, and so then they can have that conversation with their doctor about getting off of them. Today, I have a 2-year-old little baby coming because the baby's not sleeping well, and the mom suspects that there's something that the baby's eating that is not, good for the body. So actually, I can help all ages. My youngest is 18 months, and my oldest is about 76 years old. So I also have a client right now. I have a lot of clients who are trying to get they're in their 50s or older, and they've either gone through menopause or they're going through it, and they don't want to be on hormone replacement therapy, or they want to get off of it. So I've been able to help people do that. And another thing to think about too is overall vitality. Some people come to me and they say, well, I don't have any symptoms or anything wrong. And that's okay. You don't have to have something wrong to come to me. Maybe you just want to increase your quality of life, so as you do age, you look and feel the youngest that you ever have. Because as we age and we start to slow down in terms of work, maybe we want to amp it up in terms of all of our quality of time with our family or travel or something like that. And if that's a goal of yours, then feeling good and feeling your best is always a great thing to work on. So I have like 2 minutes for questions if anybody has them. Alex.
You mentioned inflammation. Obviously, there are a lot of diseases, that cause sugar, that I think is a huge one. What are something that maybe is surprising that causes inflammation that you didn't think about?
So yeah, sugar is the #1 offender of inflammation. But then there are some things in our food supply that are creating inflammation. A lot of the chemicals that are thrown in there, and then some specific foods would be gluten, dairy, eggs, soy. A lot of those are creating inflammation. So if that's happening with someone, then I work toward eliminating that food, reintroducing it after 90 days, and when they do, reintroducing it in a different, more whole food type of form, so that their body can dampen down that inflammation and create a new response to it.
So I've got my mother-in-law has varicose veins, leg issues with her leg. She's on pain medication for her leg issues and for high blood pressure. Would that be a good referral because she's on constant medication?
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, we could take a look at what could be going on because she's obviously got circulation issues. Yeah.
I don't know why I didn't think of that.
I know when we've talked, you've brought up several times the soy, or avoid soy. What specifically is in soy that's not?
So soy was originally created as a bumper crop in between other crops to replenish the soil. It was actually never an edible food until a famine occurred. And then the locals decided, yes, let's eat this or we're going to starve. And so once they did that, it started creeping into the food supply. And then in America, it's very, very, very cheap to make. And so soy is so rampant in our food supply, but it's really not very digestible. So it comes from a bean, it's a soybean, but they make oil out of it, and they put it in food as fillers, and it's just all over the place. And because it's not easily digestible, it creates inflammation in the body.
And I have something to add to that. It's
Sure.
also one of our most genetically modified
Yes.
crops.
This is true.
And over the past 30 years, we've been genetically modifying our food so much that our bodies no longer recognize it as food.
Yes.
So that's part of why it's also so inflammatory.
And that's part of why gluten is also very, very inflammatory. Well, thank you everyone for your time and for listening.
Awesome.